Hello. Hello, I'm Felicia Down Harper of Xavier's Treats. This is our channel, Xavier's Treats and Us. I came back on because my son called to wish me a happy Mother's Day. And it's the first video was cut off. So I posted it, but I wanted to come on. And so when I post this one, I'll just do part two. It's adoption story, Diane, and it'll be part two. I wanted to finish up some things I thought about while I was uploading and things of that nature, just about my mother. I don't know. I don't know. Some thoughts came as I was waiting, and I was just wondering, like, wow, I didn't even speak on that. Like, I didn't speak on the fact that my mother was not the best cook. But what she could fix, honey. Her staples were a mean mac and cheese. Yes. Sweet potato pies. And I was so greedy. And right now, I love sweet potato pies. Like, if I make a pie, I'm going to eat most of it. My poor kids, I feel so sorry for them. So my mom used to make pies. And I would just eat the pies up to the point she would just say, you got two pies? Anthony has two pies. It was just ridiculous. So, and then she made this sea leg salad. Oh my God. I was never a fan of the sea leg salad, but I know other people who just love, like she would always get requests for sea leg salad. And then she used to like to make chicken and noodles with egg noodles. But just to say, no, she wasn't that cook like that. Because she had to work. She had time to be cooking, right? She one woman raising kids, trying to cook. So it's just funny. It made me think because as much as I love to cook, my mom was not that girl. And that I just thought about that when I was uploading. Um, Thought about, like stories she shared with us about her growing up and their family dynamic. And I will not share that. It just, these flowers I received for Mother's Day. I moved to a different chair because I had to plug my phone up because it was dying in the interim of my son calling to wish me a happy Mother's Day. So this card, this beautiful on the end, and I think it's so awesome. Psalm gave me this one from her, Deja and Dylan, and then Deja gave me this one, and she gave me these beautiful T-shirts because I kept saying that I wanted T-shirts for Mother's Day, and I will buy like 3 or 4 white T-shirts during the summer because I just like a good T-shirt. I think a nice T-shirt can go with skirts, shorts, pants. I just love a nice T-shirt in the summer. And she gave me 3 really pretty, like a pale blue, a khaki with white stripes, and then she gave me just an off-white one. But the fabric is really, I mean, just a really nice T-shirt, and I tried one on and it fit really good. I probably still will put a camisole up under it just because it just makes me feel better. And, I'm cold all the time now. Menopause. And the flowers I received, but I also have bought me some tulips, so those are by my bed. Because I prefer yellow and orange for roses. I mean, roses, and then I like tulips, and I pick yellow and orange tulips. But the cards they gave me are like a burnt orange and then like a pale orange. And I was like, oh my God, they gave me cards in my color scheme. So I just really, really am grateful for that. My little one still hasn't come out. And I think my little one is upset, more so with himself. But because he didn't have anything to give me for Mother's Day. So he resorts to just saying, Mommy, I'm sorry I don't have a gift, but to anger. And that's going to be something he going to have to work on because ain't no woman going to put up with that when he grow up. They going to bust him right in the head and send him back home to me. So he going to have to work on some things. But getting back to my mom, and I want to talk a little bit about Rose Carter because that was my grandmother. Rose Conyers Carter, and I love my grandma a lot. And I miss her So let me see if you can see. I have a picture in my living room, and I don't know if it's going to be too dark. Oh, no, it's not. So this is a picture that I had given my mother for her birthday 1 year, maybe a year or two before she passed, but not, I don't, this was my mother, Sassy. Look at her. She got the afro and little pearls. And this was my grandmother. And this is my Aunt Sheila. Her and I shared the exact same birthday. I loved her dearly. That's my Aunt Sheila. And so this was a picture that my mother had, and I blew it up and gave it to my mother for her birthday. And so when my mother transitioned and my sister and I were going through things, going through the things, I asked my sister, I was like, that picture I want. I didn't even ask. I was like, that picture I want, because I thought this would just be a nice picture to have in the house. And it's funny because sometimes I walk past this picture and I say, hey to the Golden Girls. And then I'm going to put other pictures up because I took pictures. Oh, and this is just our wall. And these are my children since it's Mother's Day, and just various pictures of the kiddos in my life. The Smurfs. This is the preacher Dylan, and someone else calls him Malcolm X. And just various pictures that I have on the wall of us as a family. And then when yesterday, because when I had when my mom passed, my sister and I went through pictures, and it was pictures that I didn't have or I lost, because we lost stuff. You know, when we moved to North Carolina, things were not financially fiscal for me to get my stuff that I left in storage, and so I lost the storage. And so all those things that were in there, we no longer had. So this journey has not been easy with my kids and I, but you know what? To God be the glory, because we're doing awesome. But this was a picture of this is my sister and I, and my mother is in one. It's all three of us. But this one, I didn't realize I had taken this picture. I just found these on yesterday morning, and I bought a frame. So I'm going to put the frame on this. This is my sister. And I'm going to put this up on the wall. And then I have some pictures that I'm going to try to restore. Because from what I understand, I think they said that my sister has this on her page. So this is my mom. She was 17 in this picture. And that's my little head, because I told you she was a young wife. And so this picture I want to have restored and see if I can blow it up and put it in a frame. And I found this picture of my grandfather. This is my father's father, my grandfather, Frank Harper. And I was 10 years old. I believe I was 10 years old in this picture. We had gone to stay a couple of weeks down in North Carolina to visit my grandmother, my dad's mom, my mother and I, and my grandfather. We went to church and he was at church. And so that was the summer that my Aunt Jean, they came down. And when I left, I actually came back to Michigan for the first time. And I stayed the rest of the summer in Michigan. And so this picture I had taken as well of my mother and I when I was younger. So what I'm going to do is see if I can have the color restored, because I have another picture of this suit, and it was a hot pink suit. You know, it was the 70s, honey. All this polyester. And so I found these pictures, and I thought it was just so sweet. And this is another family picture that we used to have hanging on the wall of the kids and I. But my son, you see my son, that's Devin. He took the picture and he stabbed himself up in the picture. So I want to have this replaced and restored so that it can go back on the wall with the other pictures. So I just stumbled upon these pictures yesterday morning, and I'm going to put them up. But my grandmother, because that's what I was talking about, my grandmother, I liked her. I say that a lot because I was young, and when you're young, you love your grandparents and you remember them. So anything else I don't know about, because I was kid. She's my grandmother, and they used to call her Sugar, but I call her Grandma. And I just like that relationship her and I had. And so I remember when she passed away, um, I think I was the last one in my family to see her alive. I believe that's what my mother shared because she was in the hospital that was up the street from my high school. And when I got out of high school, I walked up the street and I visited with her. And that was the last time I seen her too. That was, I think, the night before she passed away. I went to visit with her and she was saying that her feet were cold and I lotioned her feet and I covered her up. And we just had our normal like visit because she was up the street from my school. I could just walk up the street. See, and when I look back in my life, I had a lot of freedom, meaning that I was able to move around. So I didn't attend school in the neighborhood. I had to ride. If I went downtown Newark and caught the bus up, or if I caught the 9 across town and walked down the hill, I was able to move around a lot. So I would get out of school and she was in the hospital up the street. So I just walked up the street, go visit her, came back down and caught the bus and went home. It was no big thing because remember, my mom was at work and my sister, my sister was not born yet. She had not come into the picture yet when my grandma, because my sister never met my grandmother. But I just have really fond memories of her. And I believe that's what's going to happen with my daughter because she just, it's amazing how much she adored my mom. And like the thing she'll say is, maybe if I talked to her, she wouldn't have passed. And I'm like, no, Deja, it doesn't work like that. But my mother, she gave us all she had. I will say that. Um, she did, like she said she did her best. And maybe that best wasn't good for you, but she said she did her best. And you know what? That's all you can ask from anyone. Um, the stuff she has planted in us, my sister and I. Some would say we a little snobby. I had to be delivered because I was crazy when I was younger. Because you do have a kind of elitist thought pattern that you like, whatever. But my kids humbled me tremendously and brought me down to earth and made me more human and realize life is not about me. But you have to realize when you're an only child and you're used to getting stuff and then the other person come and you just spoil the other person. It was never a thing. I think about this. When my sister came along, it was never, oh, I'm so envious of her. Oh, why did my mother have her? Never. I was just ecstatic because you got to realize I was by myself a long, long time. Like I would go and visit and play with my cousins. Cause see, back then we still all congregated together, right? As a family. Like we would all go to my grandmother's house, hang out or whatever. And I was a good babysitter. I babysat. So yeah, family was still tight then. They still hung out with each other and did stuff with each other. So you got to see your cousins and hang out with your cousins. And then, when the matriarch goes on, things aren't as they used to be. They try, but they not as they used to be when the matriarch leaves. So I will say that. So yeah, I just wanted to pop back on just to finish up my thoughts in reference to my mom. So we do, I guess you say, oh my gosh, she just said all the things negative about her mother, but no, we do honor her. We do. Our thoughts are good thoughts about her. In my home, she is spoken of often. Not on a, it could be sometime on a daily basis. So she's always remembered, oh, when Mother Harper was here, oh, Mother Harper did that. And so my kids will always, even though they saw her when she was ill, they still hold her in high regards that she is Mother Harper. So in that respect, she did what she was supposed to do as grandma. Because my mother never wanted to be called grandma. She was called Mother Harper. And so on Mother's Day, we just say that we honor and we do miss you. We miss your presence in our lives. Even though we live here, you still called, and sometimes you call multiple times in a day. So we just remembering you on this Mother Day. And the real you, not that fantasized and glorified and Madonna type you. Just you, mom. Just mom. Hey, mom, whatever. And so I thank you for coming to our channel. You can comment, you can like, you can share. And we do go Facebook Live on Xavier's Treats. And we will be posting probably twice a week, not just once a week as we have been doing. And I know once the pandemic is over, my son Devin is ready to talk, honey. He want to share some things. So that is going to be very interesting because we have to honor and hear from his perspective because there's always a different perspective. So I am ready to sit with an open ear and heart to hear his take on being one. He's the eldest child. Even though they're twins, he's 2 minutes older than her. Being the eldest child, being the eldest male, being in the house with me, being in the house with the mom who you were the eldest male, and then your mother starts dating, and now there's another man in the house. See, because all those dynamics came into play. So it's going to be very interesting talking with Devin. We probably do several videos with Devin, just because I think that should get a full picture of us, not just Felicidon's viewpoint or Deja's. Because Dylan has already said he is not coming before you guys. He is not sharing. So I guess Deja did, and maybe Deja, Devin, and myself, we can sit. But I will do a video about Dylan from my perspective as his mom. Maybe Deja and Devin can do one as the brother. And that's how we'll go from there in reference to Dylan. Because Dylan is adamant, and I will not force him to do something he does not want to do. So enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day. Be blessed. I have to go make some garlic shrimp now. I cooked earlier on the live. Now I'm going to make some garlic shrimp, and Deja wants some asparagus. And that is going to be dinner for tonight. You guys be safe. Stay safe. Be careful out there, because when you're in the house, you kind of forget that there is a pandemic and that there's a virus out there because you're in your safe space. But then when you go out, like when I go to the store, I'm like, I hate coming out here. It's horrible out here because people are not adhering to the social distancing, and they just wilding out here. And so anyway, I can go on a whole tangent about going grocery shopping because I've been going in neighborhoods that are not my own. And it has been very, very interesting. One, watching people not wear masks or gloves. And then they want to come in your space and they looking at you like, what's wrong with you? Because you're like, yo, you got to back up. Give me 6 feet. But anywho, enjoy the rest of your day. Be blessed. Take care.